While it's true that Jesus was the founder of Christianity, it was primarily the Apostle Paul who marketed the religion to the wider Roman world. Not only did Jesus commission Paul to market Christianity to the world, he commissioned all his followers to engage in the spreading of the good news. As a lay preacher, sermons are one of the many ways to fulfill this commission. But just like a good marketing firm, while performing pulpit ministry, it's incumbent that everything about us reflect the value and tone of the product we wish to sell to the masses. When we show up for job interviews, we know that we should put our best side out. Such should also be the case when we represent the message of Jesus Christ in the pulpit. When publicly marketing our secular jobs, we put forth our best, and it should be no different when we take the helm of the pulpit in the worship service. Today in our discussion, we'll focus on maintaining a quality marketing strategy in the pulpit. Keep in mind that my comments are not particularly centered on the general life of the lay preacher, as much as they are centered on live pulpit ministry during public worship service. I'm Thomas Hardy, and welcome to the Layman's Guidepost. As lay ministers, since we are marketing a high-quality product, we should do so in a high-quality fashion. While we all have varying degrees of skill and ability, we should always try to put our best side out during public presentations. During public worship service, all that we should do should be tasteful, respectful, and professional. In this video, I'll outline 3 pointers on how we can improve our quality of presentation in the pulpit. The first area is the area of appearance. While this certainly applies to the basic standards of hygiene and grooming, in this video I'm choosing to focus on appearing respectfully and professionally dressed in the pulpit. And on this point, because of some of the standards I'll review, I know that there are going to be those who disagree with me, but I will not capitulate on this point. It does matter how you dress when you are delivering sermons. We probably all heard that depending on the situation, communication is somewhere between 60 and 90% nonverbal. This means that the moment people look at you, the communication process has already begun. This is because we communicate with our eyes just as much as we do with our ears and mouth. As much as we would like to think the opposite, we cannot ignore how people are dressed when they are trying to sell us something. This irrefutable fact is true from the grocery store clerk to the nationally aired television commercials. We naturally judge people by how they dress when they're trying to sell us something. The more valuable the product, the more likely we are to use every means to judge the quality of the salesman before us. This is because we naturally judge the product by the salesman. What if you went to your favorite restaurant to enjoy a nice meal and the waitress that showed up at the table to serve you had on dirty clothes? Would you eat that meal? Or would you want to make sure that the person serving you the food, the food that you're going to put inside of your body, wouldn't you want to make sure that that person looked presentable and clean and professional? Now, the second area of importance is quality of communication. Not only do we judge people by how they're dressed, we also judge them by their verbal communication. Now, if a salesman is unclear or seems incapable of effectively communicating their thoughts, we tend not to really trust what they're saying. Now, large corporations spend billions of dollars in research soliciting large advertising companies every day because they know one secret. The art of persuasion is bound in the way you communicate your thoughts. If the way you dress can be a hindrance to people focusing on your message, then such is also the case when it comes down to verbal communication. The third area that we need to focus on is quality of demeanor. Anyone going to a job interview knows that appropriate demeanor is essential when trying to project credibility. In job interviews, we're conscious of the need to convince the interviewer that we're capable of forwarding the mission of that place of business. As lay ministers, we should recognize that every sermon represents your attempt to make a case to your audience. Through persuasive means, you need to be scripturally sound, practical, and reasonable before your audience. This is the reason why your demeanor is also important in pulpit ministry. Your demeanor will be an aid to this endeavor or a stupendous distraction. The savvy minister knows to avoid wild gestures and gesticulations that tend to make him appear clownish and unserious. This will be accomplished while also avoiding coming across as stoic and inaccessible and dry to the audience. Our humor and interesting anecdotes may be helpful for illustration purposes, but a good lay minister knows to avoid taking this too far. He'll remain ever aware of the fact that it's the house of God and not Comedy Central. Attire, speech, and conduct are all essential areas we can always learn to maintain and improve in. Any lay minister struggling in any of these three areas should continually seek to improve that particular dimension. Don't worry, you can still be yourself, just be an improved version of you. A good lay minister is always looking for ways to improve underdeveloped skills. Be it a job interview, a wedding, or a dinner date, we instinctively know how to dress the part so as to project neatness, professionalism, and respect for the occasion at hand. We instinctively increase the quality of our appearance, our language, and our conduct. Is it too much to ask that we show a little respect for what the pulpit represents? You can always tell how much respect someone has for their job by how they dress, speak, and carry themselves while on duty. Perhaps we have much to learn from what we already know. And that concludes our time for today. Thank you for viewing this video entitled Marketing Ministry for the Layman's Guidepost. I'm Thomas Hardy. If you enjoyed this program and you'd like to see more, subscribe to this page. Also, please remember to like this video and be sure to share this video with others who could use this information. Finally, you can request a copy of my training workbook, The Layman's Guide to Biblical Preaching, a 7-step plan. Just click on the link below. This indispensable tool will take you step by step through the process of writing each one of your sermons in a clear and easy to understand way. Learn the secret to delivering powerful sermons and lessons today. And as always, for the Layman's Guidepost, I'm Thomas Hardy.